What's up, boys and girls? It's your favorite content creator, King Gray, back with another Destiny video. Today we're going to help you get ready for the Edge of Fate expansion that drops on July 15th. We're here to help you get your arsenal up to par. We have a top 10 list of the must-have weapons for the Edge of Fate. And we're also going to tell you how to acquire them and some of the most popular roles that comes on each weapon. So without further ado, let's kick it off with the new Pacific Epitaph. The new Pacific is a must-have stasis wave frame grenade launcher that is newly reprised in the free-to-play activity Rite of the Nine. At the time of this video, the dungeon Ghost of the Deep is in rotation, and the new Pacific can drop at the end of any encounter or on any enemy kill. Before you jump into the dungeon, I need you to go to Eternity and then go see the Rite of the Nine vendor, Orin. I want you to make sure that you attune the new Pacific Epitaph before you start the activity so that it drops for you. And while you're there, make sure you check out those nice feet she has. Once the new Pacific starts dropping, some of the roles that you want to keep your eye out for is linear compensator with high velocity rounds, demo and chain reaction with a blast radius masterwork. Next, let's check in on a Destiny 2 classic, originally dropping from the Leviathan raid, the Midnight Coup. You can get this 140 round per minute hand cannon from the free-to-play activity Onslaught. Before you start up the playlist, I want you to fly to the tower, go talk to Zavala. In Zavala's menu, there will be a focusing and attunement option. When you get there, be sure to select the Midnight Coup. So when this thing starts dropping, you are looking for the right perks, and believe me, this bad boy has some juicer perks. But the one that I want to recommend to you is going to be Explosive Payload and Frenzy for a bit more damage, with Frenzy at 15%, and Explosive Payloads for a little bit more range and a little bit more damage. Be on the lookout for that one. That's a nice one. Just making it inside of our top 10 is the next weapon, Mirror Imago. Mirror Imago is a 900 RPM Strand SMG, which is a beast. It synergizes well with Strand and Prismatic Threatling builds, as well as a primary to slay out on ads. There's a few ways you can get the Mirror Imago. Primarily, I'll recommend that you play the activity Court of Blades that you can load from the last city. And then secondarily, you can activate your Tomb of Want, where you activate Mirror Imago as the focusing weapon. And as you kill enemies and have drops, the Mirror Imago can drop in a regular version, the shiny version, or an adept version. The role that I want you to be looking out for both involves having subsistence in the third column. For slaying, you want to have sword logic in the fourth column with the pendant mag. And for a nice threadling build, you want to swap out sword logic for hatchling. And once these guns start dropping, pro tip, I want you to look out for the origin perk, Runneth Over. It comes on the shiny versions. It is absolutely top tier, and it gives you more ammo upon reload depending on how close you are to your teammates. Coming in at our number 9 spot is our first raid weapon, the Rufus's Fury. This is a Strand 720 RPM auto rifle that comes from Root of Nightmares raid. Although you get this from an in-game activity, Root of Nightmares is inarguably the most easy raid in Destiny 2, so I expect you to be able to farm this quite easily. So when you jump in, I want you to make sure that you focus on planets and Nezarec encounters. Those are the third and fourth encounters respectively. They're fairly easy. This is the only place that they drop from outside of chests. The good thing about Rufus is it has a really loaded perk pool. In column 3, you have multiple reloaded perks like Recon, Rewind Rounds, and Demolitionist. Now in the fourth column, it has all of its damage perks. It has Frenzy, it has Adrenaline Junkie, and it has Paracausal Infinity. I particularly like to pair Demo with Hatchling because I am a Warlock and I like my grenade and minion builds, and this synergizes with those greatly. Our next must-have weapon for the Edge of Fate expansion is Unloved. Unloved is a heavy burst, 257 RPM Strand hand cannon. This weapon made this list for a few reasons. Firstly, its origin trait is S tier. With subjugation, Shots explode when hitting weak targets, and when shooting strong targets, the targets become exhausted, which means their damage output is lowered, which is very similar to stunning a champion. Secondly, its perk combos are very nice as well. My go-to has been Hatchling and Tear. Precision kills spawn threadlings with Hatchling, and then those precision kills sever nearby targets. Definition of a win-win to me. Unlove can be acquired from the Sundering Doctrine dungeon, which you can find on Savathun's Stone World. And when you get inside of the dungeon, I want you to farm the first and final encounters, because this is where it drops. You can also get it from Secret Chest once you discover the weapon. Coming in at number 7 is the Mountaintop with those micro missiles. Yeah, I'm kidding. This one does not have micro missiles. It's a reprised version of the Mountaintop, but it still hits like a truck. So when farming this weapon, I want you to keep an eye out for recombination in the 4th column and auto-loading holster in the 3rd column. You want to get elemental kills because it gives recombination a stack that's worth 10% for every elemental kill. You can get that up to 100% damage with 10 stacks. So there are other roles out there that are decent, like Demolitionist in the 3rd column, as well as Vorpal in the 4th column for a flat 15% buff, but I would recommend auto-loading and recon. Now, you also get this weapon from the Onslaught playlist, but before you jump into this playlist, I want you to go to the tower and go visit Zavala and make sure that you attune this weapon so 50% of your drops can be this particular weapon, and then go have fun exploding on fools. The number 6 spot in our must-have weapons for the Edge of Fate expansion goes to my tried and true old buddy, old pal, Riptide. Now, Riptide is probably one of the easiest weapons to get. It's a Crucible drop, and or you can get it from Crucible engrams once you uncover the weapon. So what I need you to do is fly into the tower, go to Shacks, and then you want to go to Focusing Legacy engrams, and inside of there you'll see the Riptide. And I want you to continue to focus this weapon until you get auto-loading holster in the 3rd slot, and I want you to get chill clip in the 4th slot. You'll thank me later. This rapid frame stasis fusion has been a mainstay in my loadout for some time. You ask why? Well, let me tell you, it's for stunning champions. It has the ability to stun overload and unstoppable champions. And if we were ever so lucky to get a fusion anti-barrier artifact perk, Riptide becomes a one-stop shop. Stunning overloads with slow, stunning unstoppables with shatter, and stunning anti-barriers with the artifact perk. Magnificent. Now I have a pro tip for you. I want you to hold on to your Crucible engrams until you reset your Valor twice. This way you're able to get 3 perks in the 3rd column and 3 perks in the 4th column, making your farm so much easier. You can thank me later. Our next entry into the top 10 weapons you must have for the Edge of Fate expansion is Unsworn. And right now, this is one of my favorite weapons, especially with all of the artifact mods that are supporting trace rifles. Unsworn is a strand killing machine with perk combos like Subsistence and Killing Tally, Rewind Rounds, and Detonator Beam. But surprise, surprise, King's favorite combination is Subsistence and Hatchling. That way, I can build my army of small attacking green minions. And oh, did I mention enemies have to deal with the subjugation perk again? This strand rifle, just like the Unlove, does come from the Sundering Doctrine dungeon. However, you can farm any of the encounters 1st, 2nd, or 3rd because it drops from all of them. Scatter Signal is a must-have weapon to me because of its versatility. It has a great perk pool that allows it to be a good damage dealer. Only perks you need are Overflow and Controlled Burst. Just trust me. Overflow your mag, get 16 in the clip, melt tanky enemies with a 20% damage buff and reduce charge time. However, this is possibly the most difficult weapon on this list to get because it comes from a vaulted seasonal activity. At the moment, the only way to get this strand fusion rifle is through the exotic mission Starcross. However, Starcross is on an exotic mission rotator, so when this exotic mission is featured, you must be ready to farm for this gun. However, our number 3 gun you will not have to wait for. The Lost Signal was the first legendary Area of Denial grenade launcher in Destiny 2. Lost Signal made its debut in Episode Echo. Raise your hand if you like Episode Echoes. You hear that silence? That's because no one likes Episode Echoes because it was cheeks, but Lost Signal isn't. Lost Signal has great utility at taking away health with its damage over time capability and cut off choke points like the legendary Wither Horde. Its tried and true role for me is auto-loading and Vorpal for the 20% damage and free reloads. Lost Signal can be acquired from Echo activities, which are still available until July 15th. Also, you can pick up the old Echo's Hunter Journal artifact from Failsafe to passively accumulate engrams to focus Lost Signal at her kiosk. Runner-up for the top must-have weapon going into the Edge of Fate is the Call. This strand rocket-assisted sidearm is the bee's needs, and it drops from Pale Heart activities and engrams from Ghosts at the Pale Heart. The Call has many viable perks and roles, but I would recommend picking up Lead from Gold and One for All to get special from heavy ammo pickups, and One for All also gives you a 35% damage buff if you hit 3 separate targets, and Vorpal is a second close at a flat 15% for special weapons. I also like Subsistence and Hatchling. I don't think I have to tell you why. But in at our number 1 spot for the must-have weapon before the Edge of Fate is none other than Tinashe's Mastery. This rocket-assisted sidearm is so busted, and so is this perk, Chill Clip. This is an ad-clearing champion and stunning champion expert. Must I remind you that Chill Clip stuns overloads by slowing them and stuns unstoppables by shattering them. And you're like, okay, King, you love this gun so much. Where do I get it from? Unfortunately, it comes from Iron Banner. However, all the anguish that you go through having to play Iron Banner, this weapon makes it well worth it. Tinashe drops from Iron Banner engrams, and the next Iron Banner is scheduled to start on June 17th and end June 24th. So at the time of this video, it's about 2.5 weeks away. So grab some Iron Banner ornaments, some guns, and some armor, and get in there and fight for the Iron Wolves. And then afterwards, visit Saladin, decrypt Tinashe's until you get Air Trigger to help with the ammo reserves, and then Chill Clip, obviously. Right now, Tinashe is able to stun all 3 champions with Slow for Overload, Shatter for Unstoppables, and Anti-Barrier Artifact perk. Need I say more? Get in there and get Tinashe's. It is a top tier gun. And thank you for watching our top 10 must-have weapons before the Edge of Fate expansion. I think that we've compiled a really good list. Did we miss any weapons that you would have added? Were the weapons in the order of the most important? What weapon would you have taken out? Let's talk about it in the comments. Please be sure to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe with notifications turned on so you never miss any of my videos or content. Also, be sure to follow me on my social medias. All of my links are in the description.